Hi guys. So the song that we're going to be working on today is Kashmir by Led Zeppelin from their album Physical Graffiti. This song is, first of all, before we even get into it, the song's in Dadgad tuning. It's actually really nice tuning. Really nice tuning. So, the difference between that and standard tuning, pretty much your fifth, anyways, your fifth, fourth, and third string are going to be exactly the same as standard tuning. So you're going to have your A, D, and G. That's all good. What's going to happen, though, is your low E and your high E, well, that's low E, and that's E, they're both E's, you're going to tune both of them down to a D. So you're going to be tuning them down a full step, down to a D. And then your B string, that's how it would sound. You're actually going to tune it down a half step, or you're going to tune it down a full step to an A. So it's going to sound like this. Perfect. So the song is split up into four parts. There's the, I'm going to say, the iconic sort of riff. There's the, I'll call it the breakdown, that part. There's the sort of, I'll call it the pre-bridge, that part, and then there's the actual, we'll say the actual bridge. Perfect. So, we're going to want to start off with that main riff, that first riff. We're going to start off, the first position of that main riff, we're going to have our pinky on the 5th fret of the 5th string and our index on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And if we hit the 5th, the 4th, and the 3rd string together, it's going to sound like this. Perfect. So the entire, that main riff is going to have this sort of pattern going through it the entire time. It's going to be bass, so hitting that low D, bass, down, up, down. So bass, down. Let's just kind of, we can even just mute or palm mute, or not palm mute, just mute the neck so we can just get that rhythm down. It's going to be bass, down, up, down. Kind of maybe a slap or something that just kind of stops the sound. Bass, down, up, down, down, up, down. So one more time. Bass, bass, down, up, down, down, up, down. And if we did that a few times, bass, down, up, down, down, up, down. Bass, down, up, down, down, up, down. Bass, down, up, down, down, up, down. That's going to be the sort of driving force behind that main riff. So if we take that pattern there and we apply it to the riff, here's what we're going to do. So we have that first position that I just showed you. Now let's apply that strumming pattern. And remember, we're going to only want to hit, when we're doing the down, up, down, we're only going to want to hit the 5th string, the 4th string, but the 5th and the 4th string are going to sound exactly the same because of where you've placed your pinky. And we have then we just also have that on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So let's apply that. So we're going to start off with this one. Notice how that sounds. So bass, down, up, down, down, up, down. Bass, down, up, down, down, up, down. So good. So we do that. Bass, down, up, down, down, up, down. And then we're going to want to move up. I just move up my index. We're going to move up. The pinky stays where it is. The index is going to move up now to the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. So we got this so far. That's just applying that same pattern, that driving force behind everything. So we've got that. And then here, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to move up. What I like to do is I just move up my hand like this, and I replace where my pinky was. I keep a finger there on that 5th fret of the 5th string, but I'm going to place my middle finger there now. I'm going to put my middle finger there, and I'm going to use my index to now move up to the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And I do that, I move there, because then the next step is going to be the 5th fret of the 3rd string. And so it's much easier. Let's say you were like this with your pinky. It's kind of, I don't know, or you'd have to do a whole movement. Whereas with this, while it's kind of still natural, you kind of just slide up, and then you can just easily put your your ring finger right underneath, right there on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. So all together, so far, the riff is going to sound like this. So we got. That's what we got so far. Okay, now here's where it's going to get a little bit different. We're now going to take the next movement is going to be actually what I do is I slide up with my ring finger. So now what's going to happen there is I'm going to slide up from the 5th. So far we've been walking up chromatically. But now we're going to actually jump up 2 frets. Jump up 2 frets. And our index, now what I do, because we got to slide up, it's natural for my index to sort of be placed there. My index is going to be on that 5th string. Or, 5th fret of the 5th string. But what's going to happen now is when we get to this part, we're not going to go bass, down, up, down, down, up, down. We're not going to do that. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be going bass, down, up, down, and then for the last down, up, down of the driving force, we're going to go back to our first position. So like this, I'll show you. So bass, down, up, down, down, up, down. So it's actually only for the very, I think for the whole like 7-minute song, it's only the very beginning that actually starts with 2 of these. That starts off with 2, or a full, I'll say a full bass, down, up, down, down, up, down in that first position. For the rest of the song, it's going to be split between. Notice how we kind of jump. We jump right away. So when we start off, this is what we got so far. So when we start off, we start in that first position. Bass, down, up, down, down, up, down, bass, down, up, down, move up, down, up, down, bass, down, up, down, down, up, down, bass, down, up, down, down, up, down, bass, down, up, down, down, up, down, bass, down, up, down. Notice how we kind of like split that last part in half. Half of it is here, bass, down, up, down, and then the last half is down, up, down. And then it just loops. Perfect. So that's sort of that main riff, the main riff. The breakdown part is a little bit easier. All it's going to be is you're going to want to hit the, I like to do this, hit the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string, just because it then, how do I say it? Well, when you hit that 4th string, it kind of leaves this sort of drone note through the entire thing, and I like that. So, for example, so it's going to be like this. So, what's that going to be like? So, we start off here. We're going to place, we're going to have the only 2 strings actually that are going to be having fingers placed on them is the 1st and the 3rd string. And we're going to start off with both. I like to use my ring finger and my middle finger, because I'm going to move down to the index, and I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to start off with both of them on the 12th fret. 12th fret of the guitar. So we're going to go 12, and then we're going to move with our index down to the 11th fret of the 3rd string, but our ring finger is staying on the 12th fret of the high E, or I guess high D now. So he's staying there the whole time though. Perfect. So then we're going to go, so we've now walked down, and what we're doing now is we're moving from the 12 to the 10, and we're walking, and in terms of our 3rd string, we're walking down chromatically. So now we're going to go 11, 9. So we've gone, if we're just talking about the 3rd string, we're going 12, 11, 10, 9. 12, 11, 10, 9. And then once we're done that, we're then going to move down. We're actually going to jump the 8th position. We're going to jump this. We don't want that. We're going to jump that 8th position, and we're going to go to the 7th fret. Walk down again. We're going to start another chromatic sort of walk down. So 7, 6 on the 3rd string. Same thing, but now we're on the 5th. We're going to start on the 5th string, or 5th fret, sorry, and then 5, 4, and then same thing, but now we're on the 3rd. 3, 2. So all together. And then we have a little riff that's going to go, we'll just pull off. So that's going to be, it's on the 4th string, it's going to go 3, 2, 0. And what I like to do is I go hammer, or pull off, and then I sort of pluck the D as I release. Pluck the, yes. Pluck that 4th string with my index. So. And then after that, now those are sort of our 2 main parts. When we want to go into the, I'll say we'll call it the pre-bridge, what we're going to do is we're going to modify this just a little bit. So pretend we want to go into this pre-bridge part. We're going to go. So what we've done there, that's sort of how we get into that part. So what we're going to do is same thing, 3, 2, 0, but then we're going to add on top of that, on the 5th string, we're going to go 0, hammer on to the 2, 2 on the 5th string, so 0 on the 5th string, 2 on the 5th string, and then 0 on the 4th string. And all together, 3, 2, 0, hammer on. Perfect. And then after that, this is sort of the pre-bridge part. Pre-bridge part, I think, is a little bit simpler, or a little bit, whatever. It's quick. So. That part, what's that going to be? So, we're just going to want to do a power chord. So that's just hitting our 5, 4, and 3, barring the 4th and 3rd string on the 2nd fret, keeping that A open, so we have the A power chord. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what that's going to be, I keep the 5th string open to let that A drone out, and I'm going to use my ring and middle finger because my index is busy barring that. And what that's going to be is, with my ring finger, it's going to be the 7th fret of the 4th string, and with my middle finger, the 6th fret of the 3rd string. And together, perfect. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we do that riff that brought us into the pre-bridge. We do that one more. We keep doing that. We do that at the end of the section. So it'll sound all together like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, riff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, riff. And then after that, we'll do, when we want to now go into the bridge, we'll end it with the riff. Then we're going to go into this is the bridge, the main, yeah, I know, there's like 4 parts, and it's not a typical song, you know, it's different, it has movements, but whatever. So, we're going to start off, what that is going to be, this part's, I think, the simplest part of the whole song. All it's going to be is you're going to bar the 5th, but then I like to use my pinky for this. You could use your ring finger, I like my pinky. You're going to place it on, because you're barring the 5th, you're going to place the pinky on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. And all together, it's going to sound like that. So you can do a little, and whatever strumming pattern works. Depends if you're playing on an electric guitar, you might want to be more sparing on how many strums you do. If you're playing on an acoustic like me, maybe you might want to do more. It's up to you. So kind of something along those lines. You can kind of do I call it the guitar strumming pattern. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, or whatever. And then after that, you're going to do 2 bars of that. 1, 2, you're 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then you're going to move up. It's going to be that exact same position, that same form, but now it's going to be on the barring the 7th, and with your pinky on the 9th fret of the 3rd string. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And that's essentially it, just going back and forth during while Plant is doing his, you know, ooh yeah sort of thing, which he does, frankly, in every single Led Zeppelin song. So, perfect. So we got that. And then once we're done that, right back to and notice how I just started off with 1. Just 1 of those intro. We only do 2 at the very beginning of the song. So, and then after that you get right back into your main riff. And now I'll show you real quick, because right at the end of the little bit that I did at the beginning, I did this sort of riff. Or something along those lines. So here's what I did. I'll show you real quick. So, what I did there, you're going to move up on the neck, and that's going to be, I like to hit also my bass, just to kind of let it drone out during the riff. But what that's going to be, is we're going to do on the 5th, so we're only going to be hitting the 6th and the 5th string. And what we're going to be doing, it's going to be, the notes we're going to be using is 11, if I don't hit the bass for now, 11, 12, 14, and then 9. And together it's going to go 11, 12, 14, 12, 11, 12, 9. And now what I do is I palm mute both the 6th and the 5th string, and I kind of play them together. And so it sounds something like this. You could even play it, you could maybe even try and, if you're, you know, a little bit more precise with your picking, you could maybe just hit the bass at the beginning and the end, so something like this. You could do that as well. That works too. It's up to you. You can kind of play around with it. So that's going to be like this. It's going to be, when you want to play that little lick, that little riff, is right here. So you got... So it's right here. When you get up to that position where you're playing 5 and 5, or that you got you're playing with your middle finger, or sorry, your ring finger on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, you do 1, bass, down, up, down, and instead of doing slap, down, up, down, at that point you go bass, down, up, down, and that's going to cover you. That's going to take up, that little riff is going to take up this whole part, so this part. Whoops. It's going to take up that whole part. So while that's going on in the background, the riff will be perfect. So I think that's pretty much the entire song. So yeah, happy playing and good luck. Take care.